Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. We are here, as promised, to do our virtual workshop, our virtual writing workshop. And as mentioned, that we would share this virtual workshop with our uh, listening audience here on The Balance of Life. And we are coming to you live from our publishing Facebook page, WTI Productions. And so, if you are interested in going over and watching the video, for those who are in our listening audience with the Balance of Life, you can go over to our publishing page for WTI Productions. All right. So, our purpose on today is in talking about, we really want to talk about workbooks and how you create workbooks. It is an opportunity to invest in your vision. That's really what it is, an opportunity to invest in your vision. So we're going to take our time and just share with you about some workbooks that we have created, the purpose behind it, and just to make sure that we know that all of this is about investing in your vision. And so I encourage anyone who is in a teaching capacity, whether it is in ministry, your organization, your expertise, take your experience and your expertise to the next level. That is investing in your vision. Now, a lot of people might say, well, I don't know where to start in creating a workbook. First of all, whenever we study, we take notes, right? We take notes, and we have all of our material in front of us, and we have study, and we extract our notes. Within those notes, we pull out questions. That is how we put our workbooks together. And the main purpose, one of the main purposes for us doing our workbooks, is because we have the School of Ministry, wherein we took time from our teaching and we put those notes into study format. Another thing that we did was some of the information that was expounded during our live teachings, or whether at ministry or whatever those components were, and we had the audio for it. We utilized from our PCs the talk to text. And so on some opportunities, on one device, we played the audio, allowed the video to play, and on another device, allowed it to hear the text and to go back and to type it out. Yes, you do have to do some editing, which is good, but you are getting the meat and the bulk of some material that was not written in your notes. So that is another way. So you have two ways of extracting information to go into your workbooks. From your notes, you've written out your notes, and you have your references, you have your expertise to go in there. I also encourage you to include some examples for real life experience to really connect with your audience. Also, another way, as I just mentioned, if you have live video of you ministering and or teaching in your expertise, your field. When it comes to the components of ministry, we all have our area of ministry that we always go towards and teach from. For me, I love foundation, I love leadership, as well as the ministry gift, the prophetic. I am also a teacher of the fivefold ministry. And so I study the whole of the fivefold ministry, as well as foundation and leadership. So those are the areas that I write on, that I teach from. And so we were able to take teaching and to put it in workbook format. Now, the best part of that is utilizing it in our school of ministry. Also, this provides residual income because a person can purchase the workbooks in bulk for a group study if they do not enroll in one of our classes, or to purchase individual for self-study. So we're also going to talk about what that really means, the residual income. Also, the importance of, if this is an area that you teach from frequently, you have your resources. So this will help us in conferences and seminars, Bible studies, a whole range. So I have here a few samples of the workbooks that we have put together. Now the first one, and we have revised each and every one of these. The first one that I'm going to share with you is Kingdom Leaders Learning to Lead. This covers leadership in ministry as well as in business. The foundation of having a vision, understanding the vision, the process of making sure that the visionary, the leader, is well developed so that when we present our vision to others who will assist in bringing it to pass based off of scripture, we know what we're giving them. If the leader has no concept of the vision, if the leader has no concept of where they are going, then how are we going to lead others? And so since I, once again, love vision, I love leadership, I love foundation, this is an area that I teach from, also an area that I live by. So and I'm going to hold this up again, Kingdom Leaders Learning to Lead. Through study, through scripture texts, through our expertise, through our experience, we put together Kingdom Leaders Learning to Lead. We offer this course through our School of Ministry. Individuals can purchase it by bulk or individual purchases. It gives a explanation of what it means to be kingdom leaders. Also, we broke down in the workbook, it has a syllabus because once again, it is a part of our School of Ministry. It not only has a syllabus, it breaks down into weeks. So in your workbook, if it's going to be a study period of time, you want to make sure that it has all of the components of study. Because if this is a part of a seminar, what are you going to cover during the period of the seminar, and then allow some additional reading after the seminar? And this is going to help you structure your conference, because everything that you're going to teach from is already put together in a workbook. We have to start from somewhere, so even if you have that first or second teaching session, you go back and you extract that. Now, in your material, you also pull questions for a reflect and review section. This right here, once again, is going to invest in the vision that you have. It is going to put you in the place of it as authorship, because you are now a published author, and you have an opportunity for residual income to sell your product, your workbook, long after the conference, long after the Bible study, long after the seminar. It's residual. You can always go back in and edit and revise and add more content. This helps you prepare for your next. Also, another thing that we offer, if an individual comes through our School of Ministry, when they finish one of the courses, they receive a certificate of completion. We are recognized in the state of Florida under the religious institutions as a college of ministry. So that helps us, because a part of that process is having wanting to know where you're going to get your curriculum from to teach. We do use outside sources of other reading material that we pulled in during the course of teaching. But one thing that we have done, which so very excited about, is when someone comes through our School of Ministry and Mentoring, whether it is in ministry, purpose, goals, and dreams, whatever it is, they're getting our teaching. They're getting our workbooks published by our publishing division at Angel Ferguson Ministries. And so this right here is something that I thought was very, very important. It helps us to prepare for what it is, your expansion, what you're going to do. I do not like, I don't like individual papers. So I do know I've gone to some conferences and they hand you a folder and they have an outline of what they're going to cover. That is good. But a bunch of papers to try to keep track of that are loose leaf, no. Let's take it a step further. And you can definitely go through some, if you don't have a publisher, go through some self-publishing avenues such as KDP with Amazon, and create your workbook, and you control the publishing costs, because then that's a whole nother teaching. So then you can get, I think it cost us like $2.30, if that, maybe $2.15 to get this workbook printed. And we turn around, and I believe the selling cost is $15. So do you see how that helps you out? You have your curriculum, you're prepared for your next event. So say if we're going to put together a seminar in a place, Kingdom Leaders Learning to Lead. That is the title, the subject, that's what you're going to teach. For everyone who enrolls and registers, they would get a copy. You can include that in your cost. They are walking away with more than just loose leaf papers from your conference, from your seminar. They have a workbook, a tangible workbook that they can go back to. You're only going to cover so much in the seminar because we only have so much time, but this workbook is compacted with a lot of information, self-study, self-reflection. It has a quiz. And once again, if you come through the School of Ministry, we have a final exam. You can actually include all of that in your workbook, especially if it's for a group study. It helps the person to get an understanding of what they have learned and to test their knowledge. So consider how long you've been in the field that you've been in, and the experience that you have gained, the expertise, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. You take that and you put it in teaching format, so that perhaps when you retire, or even say if you are invited to attend a seminar based off your expertise and they want you to share your experience and to teach from that, guess what? I come with material. So in that instance, if you are invited and you are doing your teaching, you can have your workbook, your teaching material on your table of purchase, so that anyone who wants to learn more and go beyond what you have shared in that small space of time can pick up your workbook. Read more, study, answer some questions, test their knowledge. But you have taken, you've shifted, and you have expanded to make residual income. So during this virtual writing workshop, that is what I wanted to share with you, with individuals who are in a teaching capacity. You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, and you have the understanding. Turn it into residual income, which is a business. Also, another one of our workbooks, dealing with purpose, goals, and dreams. We have several workbooks that are available. Mentoring, the writer's launch. And if you are one who registered for this virtual writing workshop, you received a PDF, a free PDF of our workbook, The Writer's Launch. In The Writer's Launch, it's going over all genres of writing, how to find your knack, how to specialize in your area of interest. You don't have to remain in one field. You can venture out. Also within there is a business plan, which I think we need a business plan for every area of our life because it is a planning process. And I want to say that in the process of writing, stick with your expertise. Stick with your experience. Stick with an area that you have knowledge of and that you have grown and that you have perfected. That is what is going to help you in your capacity of teaching. Many individuals, when they come across someone who is teaching, online or sharing something, what do? We want to know if they have written anything. We want to know what degrees or what they have standing behind them in the information that they are sharing. This right here is going to help you. So having a workbook already prepared is going to be phenomenal. Another thing that you can have with your workbooks is brochures, which gives an outline of what is actually in the workbook. It tells about your experience, what's in the workbook, and so it's only brief what you're going to put in there. In the course of time of preparing for this virtual writing workshop, we went ahead and created some writing journals to accompany our workbooks. And so this book, Kingdom Leaders Learning to Lead, has a writing journal to go along with it. Do you see how that expands your residual income? And it also helps your presence at your next seminar, conference, event, where you have the book, you have a writing journal to accompany it. And so you are expanding as an author. You have other things, tutelage to go along with your material, and you are helping your profit in. Let me show you another one of our workbooks. This particular one is entitled The Keys of Promises. All right, so in the Keys of Promises, which is another area I love to teach from, understanding the promises of God, the keys, and the results. And so this is actually part 2. Our first workbook, we took over, I believe, a 16-week Bible study teaching. And that particular workbook is the components of the Old and New Testament. We took 16 weeks of teaching and took all of those notes and put it in workbook format. At the end of each chapter, we have questions. And so that turned it into something beyond those 16 weeks. It's a great opportunity to go back and review what you have learned. And so for those who are in ministry, if you teach in series, so I am one individual that I love to teach in a series. So because we can't get it all at one time. And so sometimes we have to break it up. And that's what I did. I believe that was in 2018 that I came to New Jersey. to cover ministry, and I taught Bible study. My parents were in Africa, and I covered my father's time of teaching Bible study. So at the end of those 16 weeks, I took all of those teachings and put it in a workbook and put questions at the end. Also, as I mentioned, for the fivefold ministry, discovering your ministry and spiritual gifts, taking that time of study, breaking each component of the fivefold ministry down, and then putting questions and quizzes in the particular workbook. This helps me whenever I get ready to start a new course. I have product available. I don't have to go back and assemble teaching material. Now my notes that I cover with each class is going to vary, but the foundation of what I'm going to teach is already in workbook format. I have assignments in my workbooks that on the next class, that particular assignment is due. So all of these things, because it's teaching. And when you are conducting a class, and like I said, it could be a series, it could be a course. We need to have everything that is going to work for that course. So in your workbook, if you are teaching a course, not only are we going to pull the notes and the expertise and our knowledge base to put into the workbook, but we're going to also create assignments because you're in the teaching field, right? So you're going to teach. The purpose of the workbook is so that people will learn. So there was a purpose behind it, learning. So you have assignments after every chapter, and you have a chapter review quiz. It's in your workbook. When they come back to class, we go over the assignment. We go over the quiz that they have to turn in prior to the next class. So this is course study that we have. If it is just for your seminars, they can purchase it, do self-study, because in a seminar setting, all depends on the length of the seminar. We're just going to touch on maybe not all the chapters, but we're going to touch on the majority of what's in there. But you want to give them something to go back and read and study and learn, test their knowledge. Even in the Keys of Promises, we don't just have the keys and the results in this, because everything we do, we teach. So in this particular one, the Keys of Promises, and I'm going to show this to you, I hope you can see that, we have a section after each module, reflections, which asks you questions, as well as it has a place for notes. So it is a self-study. One of the questions in this particular one, and this is on, let me see, this right here is on Daniel chapter 9. So after studying Daniel chapter 9 and going over reflective questions, you're going over the keys and the results. They're all outlined. We have 5 questions. One of the questions are, what are some key components to your approach to intercessory prayer compared to Daniel's? Another one, identify the keys in verse 18. Number 3, what are the results that Daniel desired to receive from his request? Number 4, how do we know the timing of God, or can we know it? And number 5, identify the things that Daniel wanted God to turn from, and provide the specific things along with the verse. So it's not just that we want you to identify the keys and the promises in this particular book, this workbook, this self-study, or once again, it can be used as a Bible study, group study. We don't want you to know just, okay, I got keys, these are the results. But we want you to reflect on it, and then also how to apply it to your life. So that was the main purpose. And once again, the Keys of Promises is actually part two. The first part is the components of the Old and New Testament. And that one has the same thing. It has questions, it has assignments in it. Because if you're going to do this, hey, let's make sure that people who are purchasing from us, that they're getting something out of it. Whenever I pick up anything, a book, a workbook, anything, I want to get something out of it. I don't just want to read it. I want to learn from it, and then I want to test my knowledge from it. And I just love the way this has grown for us. It started off with mentoring. So different stages of mentoring. That's how we started. We started with the mentoring program. So we took components of our mentoring program and we put it in workbook format. So if someone came to our mentoring program, they received a workbook. Within that also, they received weekly life applications from us. They received assignments. All depends on what they came to the mentoring program for. So that is how we actually started. And it has grown, and it has been very, very beneficial. It helps us whenever we are getting ready to start a new class, a new course. We already have the workbook available, and that is absolutely awesome. So I wanted to just share with you, invest in your vision. Whatever your vision is, if you're one who are led, you're constantly teaching, and then some people come back and they want our notes, right? Well, I don't give my notes out. I extract from what I have written, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and I put that together. So that's what we do. Another one of our workbooks that I wanted to share with you today, and each one of these that I'm sharing today, they have a companion journal with them. So the next one I'm going to share with you is Sounding the Alarm. So Sounding the Alarm is a biblical teaching on the mantleship of the prophet. So this particular one is on the ministry gift of a prophet. We are talking about so many things in this particular workbook. First of all, what is a prophet watchman? What does a prophet watchman do? What are the responsibilities? The authority. Also, we break down in each one of our workbooks, once again, we have a syllabus because it is a course that we offer. So we have class discussion, we have reflect and review, we have a chapter quiz. Now on this one, I email the quiz to those who have enrolled in our course. So they do get a email, a quiz at the end of every chapter, because we cover what's in the book, class discussion, and then we expound further. So I test them on that class. So each one of these, and then this one right here has a bonus section. We are looking at some other prophets, personal experience we share. There are some things to know. And then it says all final exams are emailed to those that have fully completed this 4-week course and is due back to the instructor 1 week after student has received it. So I make sure that that is in this particular one. This one right here has a section for quick notes in it. And I have my homework assignments in this because, once again, this is one of our books. We offer this in our School of Ministry. Individuals can purchase it for self-study or group study, but we do have assignments in here, and so that is so important. And we go over those things. We have class discussion. Class discussion is based off of the chapter that we previously did, and so we want to discuss that. So in my homework assignments, they might be instructed to read a certain passage of scripture. We discuss that at the beginning of the next class. So all of those things are in our workbooks. Our workbooks are based off of what we teach in ministry, as well as what we teach in business. So we cover both sides. We have ministry side, we have the business side, purpose, goals, and dreams, mentoring, the writer's launch. We also teach branding, and all of those things are in our workbooks so that you can go back, you can test yourself, you can gather your business plan ideas. We give you things to work with. And so I just wanted to say to you who are in those fields, if you want to really, really set the tone on how you teach, how you present, create your workbook. Create your workbook. And once again, you can control your printing costs. We like one of the avenues, which is KDP with Amazon. And I believe maybe the Keys of Promises, I think, you know what, that's $2.15 to publish. That's right. So to get it in print. Now, if you don't have a publisher, or you can do some self-publishing. Write your material, edit your material, create your own cover design. This particular design, my son drew it when he was in, I believe, the 10th grade. He drew this, absolutely love it. Also, he created our logo, and we submitted our, and this right here is a pretty good thick one. There are, let me see, this one has 182 pages. 182 pages in this. And we sell it for $15. But our printing cost with Amazon is $2.30. So you do the math on that. We keep our costs down because I have a publishing license. I am a licensed publisher. So we publish in-house. You can do the same thing. You can self-publish, and you can market your workbooks, have them ready for your next events, sell them for residual income, and you've set the tone, you've set the bar. There is nothing more impressive when you are at a seminar, when you are at a conference, and a part of their package of what you're teaching on is in their VIP bag, in their goodie bag, in their swag bag, or is on a table for additional purchases. Because you can make sure that they get one in their package, and they might think of, oh, someone else might need this, or, and you have it on your table ready for purchase. That's awesome. Also, for ministries, we cover a lot when it comes to Bible study. And after the end of a series, what if someone wants to go back and restudy that on their own time? Well, guess what? At the end of a series, you, the teacher, if you take your time and put all of that, because you have your notes, you've written them out, you've typed them out, you already have it. And you go back and you put that all together. And then you extract questions from what you taught. Because in the midst of teaching, questions come up, right? Well, put in a reflect and review section. Put in a note section. At the end of that teaching, you got the workbook. And within your ministry, you can create a library. Oh God, you have a bookstore now because you have teaching material. This will help the ministry. This will help the ministry. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So I just wanted to come and share our virtual writing workshop with you. Learning how to take your information, your area, and once again, stick with your area of knowledge. Stick with your area of expertise, your field. If you are dynamic in hair care and you have some expertise and things that you have tried and you have perfected it and you see the results, that's teachable. That's teachable for other hairstylists who are coming into the field, who are looking for techniques. Turn that into teaching. Turn it into teaching. That's what you do. Starting businesses in childcare. How do I get started? Do you not know many people are looking for how to start certain businesses, but they have a hard time finding all of the information in one place? Now, one of our very, very first writing tutorials was in self-publishing because I experienced that. Experiencing different ones, only wanting to share this bit of information, and I learned in trial and error. So what I did and I titled it Roadmap to Self-Publishing, is I pulled all those things, the roadmap, the path that I went into self-publishing, questions that I had, roadblocks that I encountered. I put all of that to teach in writing format how to self-publish. So that's something that I did. That was my very, very first one, come to think about it. Hadn't thought about it that way. But I took that experience. I went here and I went there when one person would only tell me a pinch of information. And granted, they probably didn't know themselves, but they presented themselves as an expert in the field. So after that experience, I just took all of that, got the answers that I need, and found it to be true and correct. And I put it in workbook format to teach the next person how to self-publish. And so whenever I was invited in seminars to teach on publishing, I showed up with my brochure on the roadmap to self-publishing, as well as a workbook on self-publishing, so that after I gave my presentation, anyone who wanted to purchase the book, and then there were times that I would give the books away, I leave you with tools. And so I've always had this principle, this thing for me, that whenever you are in my presence, I let you go with tools. No one should ever come into my presence without tools to go further. And so that's always been my motto. That's always been my belief. And so that's how I started. Because I'm like, wait a minute. You hit it, and you gather all these information and you gather these tools. And also another thing that really helped me is when I went to the public library in Hillsborough County to have my books in their catalog, they really didn't deal with individuals who were self-publishers because of ordering, but I was a publisher. I got my license. I cut through a lot of the red tape, and it was because of that I was able to get into the catalog with the Hillsborough County Library. So it helps. It helps in our field. It helps in your business. It expands you. It puts you on another level. It really does. It also helps us whenever we get ready for a seminar. Like I said, all of those loose leaf papers and printing. So if you're printing a bunch of loose leaf papers for, say, 100 people, count up the costs. I can get this whole book, 182 pages. I can get it printed for $2.15. But if I had to get my individual pages printed, count up the costs of what that will run me. The other two, I believe they are about $2.15, $2.30 per workbook. So think about the cost. Yes, it is a lot of work, but in the long run, it definitely pays off. And it will help you like you have no idea. Put you at another playing field. It's awesome. And also go ahead and create a companion writing journal to go along with it. Now, another one of our components that we went ahead and did, and we are going to do a seminar on dream builders. We took formulas that we use, known as the 3 C's and the 3 P's: business plan, outline, a vision board. We took all of that and we put it in one of these. So as we're preparing to launch our Dream Builders conference, everything that you need to launch and expand in ministry or business is compacted all in one. They can take that away with them. And here's another thing that I've learned. When we're teaching, people can only write so much of the notes, because they have the handouts, right? Say if you're still in handout world. But we're going to share and expand beyond what we've written on that paper, right? They can only write so many notes, because I teach from within. So there is more to go along with it. That's why after seminars and conferences, we go back and we will have our audio and our video. We go in and edit, because it expands us. So that's another component. After your event, after your seminar, your teaching, your event, you can go back and take all of that information and put it on DVD. That's right. That's right. So expand your product line. That's marketing. That's also branding. Everything is uniformed. So whenever we do something, everything is uniform. We went ahead and created, let me share this with you, because you want to make sure that everything is uniformed. So for the 3 books that we showed you today, we have this done. And let me share this with you. So this right here mirrors the books. Okay, let me get that in there really good. This mirrors the books. So that's one of the books, Sounding the Alarm. And then we have also Kingdom Leaders, Learning to Lead. And we also have, guess what? The Promises of God. So let me get that in there really good. So whenever we set up, and we got these recently, because we just celebrated our 20th year for Hope and Truth magazine. And we had these 3 books with us. And I thought it would be very, very nice to have that all together. And then this one right here is actually just for the magazine that we have, Hope and Truth magazine. It also has a writing journal with it as well. So do you see how we just, let me share that with you. All right, so that's our Hope and Truth magazine one. So it just really helps us stand out a little bit more, bringing more professionalism to what we do. And I wanted to just spend some time with you on this Saturday. And I do believe that in the future we're going to come here on our publishing page, WTI Productions, to share more with you in the world of publishing and how we can help you in those areas, from graphic designs to being your content creator, your social media and stuff like that. And so we're going to close out. Let me say this one last thing. Be unique in what you do. Do not try and copy anybody else. You have what it takes. you have the experience, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding. You have perfected this. Don't rush the process, but don't copy anybody else either. Just set the tone for what you do so that when individuals come to your events, when they sit into your presence, they know where they have been and the money that they have paid. They know that it was worth it. That's one thing that when individuals walk away from an event, they really want to know, what did I walk away with? What did I walk away with? And people who haven't gone, they ask questions. Well, how much was it? What did you receive? What did they give you? Listen, in my packet, I got this awesome workbook. Because I registered, I can receive a certificate of completion when I am done. I don't, listen, I love the trinkets and the pins. I love stuff like that. But give me something tangible. Give me something that says, you know what, I came, I registered, and I got something for my money. I have a certificate of completion when I am done, and I have this workbook that I can go back to and I can learn. And so that's what we do. Thank you for spending a little time on your Saturday afternoon with me. My name is Angel Ferguson. If you are in need of additional assistance or help in cultivating what you do, turning it into a workbook, please feel free to email me. My email address for the publishing is afergusonwrp@yahoo.com. Once again, afergusonwrp@yahoo.com. And you can always check back here on our Facebook page, WTI Productions, for additional teaching tutorials. This right here was actually very, very awesome for us to come and just spend some time together on this Saturday morning for our virtual writing workshop. Have a great day, everyone, and remember, be blessed on purpose, because you are.